Your soul contract is going public. Oh my God, what have I told you? You were the warrior who's being handed the torch during Saturn and Aries with these new contracts being written as we speak. Saturn and Aries, I'm going to break into 6 different segments as for what are these karmic contracts that are coming to a complete closure. Saturn and Pisces, what is these bold new beginnings? How will your shadows and the gifts that you receive from the work you've done in the dark behind the scenes manifest in the physical world? A shamanic tale that will brighten not only your next stage in existence as you walk with that torch in conscious leadership, Saturn and Aries, but I'm going to give you all 12 zodiac signs and horoscopes for each of the 12. So stick tuned, hit the thumbs up and likes button if this is already stirring your heart in all the right ways and pulling on your strings as we talk about the triggers that may happen during Saturn and Aries in the field of projection and the aura that you are going to externalize and develop from what's been happening deeper. I want you to hit the thumbs up button. I want you to subscribe if you're brand new, because this is going to be a journey as you take that torch in conscious leadership forward. See you soon. There's a spiritual audit going on in phase 1 of this Saturn and Aries message. And this spiritual audit is about tying up loose ends from Saturn and Pisces. Coming soon to this 29 degrees with this climatic ending of these spiritual addictions that you may have had, role modeling Hollywood and those who look like they're spiritually in tune and Zen state as a master, and actually coming to the end with those loose ends on the illusions that you may have faced. This is the moment where we're about to enter the sacred flames of Aries when it comes to birthing like a woman through her womb, through the canal, something magnificent. But in order to do that, we need to understand what is the creative blocks that we have experienced at a soul level in contrast with our human consciousness, right? So there's this unconscious collective narrative that we've all had when it comes to spirituality, as well as, again, those addictions that we've dealt with, the lack of spiritual integration, the deep introspection that's required in order to integrate, again, behind the scenes, the stuff that people do not see. Aries, before we get into Saturn Aries, will bring the light and show what have you been truly building. So you may not have felt your dream has come true yet, depending on what zodiac sign you are. Every horoscope, which we'll talk about the 12 horoscopes, will have a different insight as for whether they've been in the public light already or whether you've been behind the scenes. And so there's been lessons of deep surrender and endings when it comes to energetic boundaries. This is the key. There's been energetic boundaries that have been asked of us to take precedence in our life, right? And so right now, you may have felt like you've been walking through a fall with Saturn and Pisces. You may have felt like you're facing these invisible fears that have been inherited. They've been passed down to you, generationally speaking, that you may not have been consciously aware of prior, but now you're starting to, over the last, year and a half, realize, damn, like, I got some stuff to deal with. Like, I got some stuff that I've been hiding. I've been stuffing it down. I have some deep emotions of rage. I have some deep emotions of frustration. I got some deep griefs that I've never dealt with. Saturn and Pisces would look to tie up these loose ends. And again, like I said, there's this spiritual audit that's going to happen. Now, I'm going to actually hit the thumbs up and the likes button as we move into phase 2 out of 6. So stick to the end so you understand what number 6 is really about as we dip into the next topic, love. So with Saturn and Pisces, we've been pushed to trust our spiritual, intuitive, and psychic gifts. And I have, the psychic gifts of all fire signs out there. Go check that video as well. But Saturn and Aries is the ignition process of your destiny, okay? It is the true and authentic pioneer who is willing to say, look, I deserve what I deserve now. And if I am able to embrace my own flame, I can get that in the moment. I don't need to wait to seem like I've accomplished something based off the standards that have been set in society. I'm willing to fight for this image that I'm feeling is more beyond the time of what I need to do in order to embody this presence, this energy, this action, this divine focus on this is what I want, this is my desire, and I can go for it and I can get it right now. This is the point where we're moving from the stories of, you know, letting anger and frustration and rage be considered this bad thing, and we're channeling right now anger into action. We're channeling right now purpose from the position of passion, right? You're no longer just passionate. You're passionate and you're turning your passion into your purpose itself. We're looking to take, you know, this sacred impulse into literal integrity. And this is the challenge that Aries energy will face. If you have Capricorn or Libra in your chart, check when these Saturn and Aries pass this close to the degrees, within 5 degrees or so, to those two energies, okay? And so if you own your fire, you know, Saturn is ruled by the 10th and the 11th house. You will start to become the individual in the groups and the societies that have been waiting. The people have been waiting for, right? Like, there is a sacred community that has been waiting for you to show up as the truest version of self, to show up as a pioneer within their pre-existing group and community, as an authority figure, where they're going to actually respect you rather than trying to dwindle and pull you down. So understand that this is a poetic reset of 29.5 years of mastery in the making, right? For the last 30 years, what has been happening in your life? Are you old enough to even have that conversation yet? That's a different story. And if you are, what has been mastered and completed as you went through Saturn and Pisces of this spiritual audit of, look, this is what's been done, here's the new beginning. Because Saturn and Aries is the beginning of a 29.5 year cycle. And so understand, how we start is how we finish. So you really need to think consciously of your intention ahead of time while Saturn is Aries, so that when you work, you don't burn out too quickly and you utilize your energy very wisely. This is, again, the initiator of this raw, wild, life force energy that can birth anything. So this is the magic, okay? It takes divine courage and sacred mastery to work with this as an Aries, but look at your impulse as an ability for clear action, where you don't have to always think so far ahead. You just need to focus on what's my instinct telling me in the moment, and that will construct and build and manifest something that is sacred and powerful within my life, something that I truly desire, because Aries represents desire. So hit the thumbs up and the likes button as we move on to phase 3 out of the 6 phases here, before we get into the 12 signs and all forecast horoscopes for each zodiac sign as for what you're going to experience. Thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up and likes button, and understand this: Aries does not ask for permission. Aries does not wait for anyone to say, especially not anyone that they think is an authority, especially over itself as an energy. Aries is the permission. So I want you to say that down in the chat. I am the permission that I require. I am Aries. I am Aries. I am Aries. The permission that I require. Now that you understand your permission, we move into phase 3 and understand that phase 3 is about these shadow warnings, okay, and triggers that you may experience. And one of the major one is, you know, recognizing when your rage is without roots. Hear what I said. Recognize when your rage is without roots, because, you know, anger, it can explode. It can impulsively cut and burn a bridge that, you know, could literally mess up your professional life or what you've been building on the long term. It can do that if it's not grounded in wisdom. So this is the first out of my 4 shadow warnings that will help you in the very real world that we exist. Next is burnout. Okay, so we understand that as the number 2. Burnout is something that you can push forward for your thing. You don't have to ask for permission with Saturn and Aries. However, Saturn is also about being effective and being efficient, more importantly. So using the least amount of energy for the biggest bang, for the biggest return, the biggest buck. And so the burnout will actually backfire if you just push. Understand that when a ram is in mating season and they hit horns and they lock horns, right? There is a recovery process. There's a point where they walk away slowly. They recharge. Their brain just crashed against their skull, and they're literally just recombobulating and reorientating before they go and hit something again. So it's your rest days in between during Saturn and Aries that you will find the majority of your strength and power, where the bigger the project, the more rest you're going to need in between each major hit and initiation as this divine and mystical pioneer. So from there, we move into ego traps. This is my 3rd one. Ego traps are one of your shadow warnings, where Saturn will not reward you with fame, success, and, you know, recognition if your goals are not aligned with your soul. Because again, remember, Saturn in Aries is ruled by the 10th and the 11th house. And so you would have needed in Saturn in Pisces, which is also ruled by the 10th and the 11th house, you would have needed then to tie up those spiritual loose ends, like we said during that audit, over the last 30 years to recognize, you know, if you're only in your 30s, it's going to be about your parents. Like, what have you inherited from your parents, from your ancestry, at a deep soul level, from generation to generation, where you may only be 31, you may only be 32. Look at your parents and what they have fought for as for ego traps. And however you judge them is how you need to now see yourself and not fall into that same ego trap, because it's gonna humble you. Saturn will humble you. It will humble you, Aries. It will humble you, Aries. Saturn Aries is about, it's going to be a tremendous amount of humility. So stop worrying about who's triggering you outside of yourself. Stop thinking about Donald Trump and like how he's such an egoic dickhead. It's like, well, reality is, if you're making those judgments about him, then there's something within yourself that you really will benefit from if you can address it. But if you can instead just like see the beauty behind any person outside of him and everybody, you will realize, okay, I'm doing this because I'm here for impact. I'm doing this because I truly believe in the mission. I'm doing this because I see a beautiful outlet. So that's my third. And the last one is, understand that Saturn represents a lot of times isolation, but you don't want to only be the lone wolf, because like I said, Saturn in Aries is the 10th and the 11th house. And so the lone wolf energy of Aries will get you very, very far, right? If you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, travel together. And so Saturn also represents community as a part of Aquarius. And so it's just about understanding what community uniquely fits you and allows you to feel like I can be myself while still being a lone wolf. 414 on screen. I can build barriers 4 and 4 on each side of myself while being an individual in the middle, right? There's a shock and there's a revelation that's going to come to you where if you're somebody who thinks you need to do everything alone, you're going to have a rude awakening, all right, with Saturn and Aries. And so this is one of my shadow warnings. As we move from phase 3 to phase 4, I actually hit the thumbs up and likes button. If you're brand new, I ask you to subscribe on this video. And I want to say I love you so far. Thank you so much. Okay, so I have here a little baby shamanic tale for phase 4 out of 6 that's going to actually help you a lot. Okay, so understand this, step 1, that Saturn discipline means that Aries impulsive side is really about learning how to mature that impulsivity and turn it into sacred impulse. And sacred impulse is one who leads from divine wisdom, but beyond that, conscious leadership. When Aries is consciously making decisions as the king on the mantle, on the throne, it thinks about the people, it thinks about the community, it thinks about those who are following behind it. So it's not just doing things from his own selfish ego, yada yada yada. It's doing it because it understands I have to lead through the snakes in the garden and cut down the weeds and all of the obstacles in front of me so that I can create a simple and smooth path for the people behind me. That's what conscious leadership looks like over the next year and a half. Okay, so phase 4, this shamanic tale, is about ether. Okay, the element of ether meeting the sacred flame. And this is what this looks like. Here's what I have. This is a sacred and an ancient tale of ether meeting fire. Saturn, the elder spirit of boundaries, will enter the flame of Aries and carve soul structure out of chaos. This is the warrior priest era, where spirit and body meet to initiate the new mission on Earth. I need you to understand that you are not starting from scratch. You're remembering what you were forged for. Saturn and Pisces built your inner world, and Aries will manifest it into action. So understand that again, like as much as it seems like we're starting a brand new cycle over 29.5 years, the reality is you are just remembering a brand new phase of initiation into your soul and your karmic contract that we talked about. You are now officially signing the deeds over to the new life. Okay, you're selling your old house, equating to your internal world, and you're moving into the new home. So don't be afraid if you lose a lot of material things. You lose your house, you lose your car, you lose this, you lose that. Anything that was inauthentic to your soul's mission will no longer exist. So just keep that in mind as you hit the thumbs up and the likes button, and we'll move to phase 5 out of 6. All right, here we go. So we're moving into phase 5 out of 6 before we get into the all signs horoscopes for each zodiac sign. And one of the first things that I have for you is, again, reiterating conscious leadership. This is one of your biggest gifts. The whole phase 5 is about your spiritual gifts and the rewards that you have built and cultivated over the last 29.5 years. You have become a sacred leader, one who people will follow and they will trust with all their heart. And this is something where, you know, the soul aligned leadership opportunities will actually start to present themselves in a brand new way. This is what Aries is about, initiation. Now, number 2, your soul gift that's being rewarded to you is literally about grounded confidence. Okay, so it's like not being confident in an arrogant way where, you know, you're actually truly insecure and trying to hide behind an insecurity and pretend to be confident. Right now, you're going to have clear personal boundaries. I want you to type that in the chat. I have clear personal boundaries, because that's what Aries is about. It's not about the other, it's about the self, so that you can support and lead for the other. Now, your third gift is going to be this powerful rebirth, okay, into your physical body, into your physical vitality, into your physical and personal motivations. What motivates you? Understand that we have that North Node and Aries energy that really help you align with your joy and your personal motivations. So what motivates you? Now, my next and my fourth gift, my spiritual gift for Saturn, what has been rewarding you, the work you've done over 29.5 years, is going to be a manifestation of long held. And this is the key. Like, Saturn is about longevity, right? It's about persistence, endurance, perseverance through any and all trials. And Aries will go through a lot of trials. So there's this long held spiritual vision that it is meeting right now. What is the vision meeting? It's not only meeting conscious actions, but it's meeting this vision that is starting to turn into physical and a visible. Saturn is about visibility, okay? Being seen outwardly from what you've done inwardly in Saturn and Pisces. You will bring that spiritual long-held vision into the physical constructs of reality. And that's a magical gift and reward that you're going to receive. And then my last one, I think this is number 6, is going to be about spiritual connection, okay, especially to the energy of Mars, right? So we need to understand, where will Mars be every month to month and a half. Currently, as I do this video, Mars is in Leo. You have to understand that Mars in Leo runs the 10th and the 4th house. Play that. I have videos about that. Then we're going to move Mars in Virgo. You have to listen to that in the following month. Then Mars in Leo. So every Saturn over the next year, we need to continue to look at where is, while Saturn in Aries exists, Saturn entering Aries will say, continue to look at Mars, because there is this sacred masculine mission that will shift back and forth between feminine and masculine, as you still lead consciously in the masculine direction, okay? Because that's Saturn in Aries still regardless, right? And so this sacred masculine is bringing us into the right direction. So from here, you know, my question and my reminder for you is to literally remember, again, that because Saturn and Aries is ruling the 10th and 9th house, it's about remembering and understanding and consciously creating your public role, as well as involving yourself with your sacred community. Because this is where, as Aries is about new beginnings, initiation of your destiny, all right? It's just a brand new redefinition, right? You're like literally redefining. Ooh, that word just came out of nowhere. You're redefining what is important today at a soul level. And more importantly, it's time to literally build something that is tremendously sustainable, long lasting. And so Aries may not always think far enough ahead, but you have to also learn that you're in a process of not just trusting your spiritual vision with Saturn and Pisces, but your clear action, your ability to act on instinct. Understand that sometimes you're not going to see far enough ahead without taking a few steps in the dark. So this is, again, not just for yourself, but for the world at large. They're all following and we're all watching, because that's what Saturn looks to do. It observes. So hit the thumbs up and the like button and subscribe if you're brand new as I move to phase 6 before we get into the zodiac signs and forecast for all signs. I love you. Subscribe. Okay, phase 6 is just this last closing endearment of, remember right now that right now it is your time for divine clarity as well as courage. And you have to ask yourself, you know, what legacy do I wish to ignite as I take the mantle, as I take the torch? As these spiritual loose ends have been tied up, like we talked about in phase 1, phase 6 is about remembering that now is not the time to hide. Now is the time to allow yourself to be seen. And if that scares you, then we're going to need to have a talk, and maybe on a one-on-one basis. You could book a one-on-one reading with me, or you can join in our community where you could be seen in a private community. Because again, I'm running that membership and you have that access to join us, right? And work on these sacred practices on a daily. So now's not the time to hide, but not only that, it's time to reclaim what is considered for yourself an impactful understanding with your own personal divine authority. There's a voice that only you have that is important, it's critical. There's a body that only you have that's important, it's critical. There's a mission that only you understand, that only you see, that only you can lead at a personal level, that others will follow. And there's a lot of space for plenty of leaders in the world. So understand that it's a 29.5-year cycle. Yes, absolutely. And it's going to bless you with a charity. It's going to bless you with abundance of clarity within the charity of supporting yourself with abundance of courage and abundance of pioneering new and undefined roads and paths and spiritual insights. It's going to be at this point in time an unshakable confidence that like you can pull from deep within your soul, from this internal flame. This is all what phase 6 is about. As you understand, Saturn in Pisces is bringing us into a beautiful fruition of our own personal and sacred fire. And through that sacred fire, you're able to circle around that flame together, right? That's what happens with a bonfire, where you come around together, right? So this is the medicine of Saturn and Aries so far. As we get into the 12 zodiac signs, this is me reminding you to slap and slam that subscribe button. And if you don't have the notifications on, I ask you to put those notifications on, all of them, so you really see and understand that I'm never going to be annoying with these things. It's your sole mission right now to subscribe. Is it your sole mission to subscribe? I can't tell you that, but I would appreciate it if you do. Until next time. So let's get into all 12 zodiac signs. Hit the thumbs up and likes button, and we'll see you soon. I hope you enjoy it. It's phase 1 through 6 on Saturn and Aries, what I have to offer and deliver to you, and I will see you soon. Love. You can always obviously book a one-on-one reading with me during this time if you want to understand how it personally impacts and affects you. And we can walk through each transit that Saturn and Aries will go through, and conjunctions and oppositions that, especially during Libra season, careful during Libra season. All right. And that's that. We'll see you soon. Love. Stop hiding your ambition, Aries. Ooh. Stop hiding your true desires, Aries. Ooh. Saturn and Aries asks you to embody your leadership at a conscious level. It asks you to stop people pleasing. This is your greatest warning. However, you have a reward. Your reward is the disillusion of the false mask of who you have shown people, who you have been trained to believe you truly are, and instead to step into conscious and deeply devoted self-embodiment, leadership of the mind, the spirit, and the soul in the direction of your truth. Give and provide your gift, Aries, as you hit the thumbs up and likes button, and subscribe if you're spiritual discipline is your true gift. This is the hidden side of you, Taurus, when you talk about Scorpio. And Saturn and Aries is reminding you right now that you can no longer deny the fact that you're able to see the unseen. But as an earth sign, it's time to embody that physical intuition so that you can adapt and understand what cannot be touched. This is your warning with Saturn and Aries. Okay, Taurus? But here's your reward. Your reward is that through spiritual discipline, through the practice of embracing the unseen in a physical way, like doing some tarot cards, like divining through a pendulum, you will actually rediscover and reclaim your true and innate power from birth. Taurus, this is your gift as you hit the thumbs up and likes button and slam that subscription. Love. Performative networking will no longer work. Saturn and Aries will demand it. It will require it. It's asking you to step into the true light of your soul's expression. All right, Gemini, do not regress into surface level friendships as well as ignore goals. This is your tremendous warning during Saturn and Aries for Gemini horoscope. Now, here's the magical gift that you're going to be offered. You're going to be offered brand new soul contracts because the old ones are being released as we speak. All right, Gemini, while Saturn is in Aries. And not only that, but you're now embracing your role right now as a visionary. You've always been one, but you have the courage to do it. And that divine courage will lead us all into the new world that you see fit. Experiment with this as you hit the thumbs up and likes button and slam that subscription. See you soon, Gemini. Does your career choice reflect your soul level of integrity? Right now, Saturn in Aries is going to demand it that you are not aligning with a vision of power that actually is without depth. And I don't think that's very hard for you, Cancer, but you got to be willing to be seen, and that's probably the difficult part. So this is your major warning with Saturn and Aries for Cancer horoscope. Yet and however, you have a major gift, and the gift right now of Saturn is letting go of emotional dependency and understanding that right now you have this newfound strength this newfound strength to accept your ability to surrender as a water sign. Like the ebbs and the flows of the ocean and its tides, you have the ability to go public with your legacy. And Saturn Aries will demand it. It will be shaped by a real inner growth. That's tremendously powerful, Cancer, in this horoscope. Hit the thumbs up and slam that subscription button. Leo, Saturn is requiring daily, and I mean daily, embodiment of these new principles that you have found when it comes to your higher truth. Saturn in Aries, your fellow brother sign, demands it. This is your biggest warning. And your gift that Saturn is rewarding you is the reminder, okay, that through these daily idealisms that you let go, which were once upon a time dogmatic, blindly following somebody that you felt was just this all-powerful thing, more powerful than you, person, place, thing, substance, etc., you will go through an ego death. And this ego death will be something that will uncover a brand new truth. Okay, you will feel like you're being born again, and this is the true magic. This is the gift. So hit the thumbs up and smash that subscription button. You're being asked to let go of transactional relationships. That's your biggest warning while Saturn is in Aries for Virgo horoscope. And instead, understand that the emotional exchange that you have when it comes to your purpose is going to be one of your biggest gifts. You're creating a deeper sense of emotional intelligence with this. And energetically, you're attaining a soul level existence and literal intimacy, because you need to clap for yourself. You have survived this deep spiritual egoic death, and that has uncovered that new version level of intimacy with your own personal and spiritual intelligence. So this is something that I really expect at this point that you focus on energetic exchanges that fuel your purpose, Virgo, that makes you feel like, yes, this is my life's work and I'm happy to do it. Hit the thumbs up and smash that subscription button. It has taken you 29 years to purge literally purge codependent relationships. All right, Libra. And this is Saturn's biggest warning for you while Saturn is in Aries for Libra horoscopes. It's saying, look, not only did you need to purge that, but you need to only choose conscious partnership. Only. No longer any delusions. Whoa, they're not bringing you anywhere. Don't repeat them. This is a karmic loop that has been tied up and asks for you to choose connection over growth. So don't just grow in any and all directions. Grow in the right directions, conscious directions, with others, and especially with yourself in sacred union. Okay, Libra, this is the new beginning for you in Saturn and Aries. As you build that sacred union, you will find fulfillment. Hit the thumbs up and smash the subscription button. You have healed your nervous system. Scorpio, this is one of the best gifts ever. Saturn in Aries is asking you very clearly to not return to burnout and don't martyr yourself under any condition, okay? It's asking you to choose devotion to your daily rhythm, this newfound safety and sense of safety as you've healed deep ancestral wounds. And it has taken a long time. And now that Saturn is Aries, it's like, look, like you can consciously act at this as this healed version. Like you no longer need to move from the wound itself. You are in the process of being tremendously aligned with a daily rhythm and a divine level with your soul and with your heart. Understand and embrace this sacred flow because you're worth it, Scorpio. And type down in the chat, I am worth it. Period. As you hit that like button and subscribe by smashing that subscription. Are you ready to create with courage and not fear? Sagittarius horoscope, this is what it is all about for you. As you do this, there's this Saturn and Aries message that you are building and constructing against the warnings of using humor to distract yourself from your own personal and creative truths. Don't laugh when things are not funny. This is just something simple. Don't mask your truth. Don't mask your worth through laughter or through comedic entities that are just possessing you. Right now, Saturn Aries says, look, here is your gift that Saturn is ready and here to return. It is about reclaiming your creative assets, your creative explosions of energy, and stabilizing within this newfound self-worth of, yeah, I'm here. Hit the likes button and smash that subscription if you agree, Sagittarius, down below. I am creative. It's okay to want to be seen. Okay, Capricorn, do not hide your emotions through overworking and running through them. It's not going to work. This is your biggest sacred warning and shadow that needs to be addressed while Saturn is in Aries. But you have a tremendous gift, and that gift is moving from your healed self, moving from your soul's truth, your soul voice. That voice is here to create. And this is magical, right? Like there are karmas that says, I am finally ready to be seen, and I'm ready to be seen fully and truly authentically. This is, as Saturn being one of your own rulers and now being in Aries, you're ready. Okay, you rebuilt these emotional roots, you rebuilt these emotional truths, and it is time to walk and move from this healed childhood version. Your inner child is raging with joy and excitement. And say it down below, my inner child is raising with joy and excitement. As you smash that thumbs up button and like this button. What? Like this? What? You're healing the scattered mind. This is your challenge, is to structure your truth with clarity and no longer listen to the other voices who don't really want the best for you, or by you not listening to the part where you need to secure the best for yourself. Aquarius horoscope, this is what Saturn in Aries is demanding. It is asking for you to quiet the noise so that you can hear the single voice among the communities and the floods of people and minds that you are collectively connected to. Heal that, walk through that, and carry this divine light that is your voice. It is your actions. It is your authenticity. It is beyond the mask, and it is here to be true, honest, raw, and passionately exotic. That's something that you love and it feels very good for you. Hit the thumbs up and a likes button to confirm it, and smash that subscription saying, yes, I'm beyond these and wounds, and have turned them into sacred wounds. Okay, Aquarius? Don't chase security through fantasy. That's what Saturn in Aries is asking of you. Like, it's okay to embrace your true worth. It's okay to embrace the excitement that you have when it comes to building your wealth through a grounded sense of magic, right? Like, this is about letting go of the illusions you've had, Pisces horoscope, when it comes to money and your worth. And now you're in the process of saying, look, I'm courageously ready to stabilize my spiritual values and the assets that I have from the mystical realms in the physical world. Like, this is your power. This is Saturn's gift to you. Saturn and Aries, like, yo, it's time to make it real. Like, not only are you wealthy, you stupid wealthy. You got go. What? Hell yeah. I want you to say that down in the chat. Hell yeah. I'm ready. Love. Hit the subscription and thumbs up.